Okay, right here's perfect. How are you? Awesome, great. You guys right here?
I think the thing is with all one's older shows is that it's great when somebody comes to you with a new idea and a new idea of how to do it. Jamie had done a production of Evita in Regent's Park in London a few years back now, and is just about to do it again in London with Rachel Zegler, so it's very exciting. And so I obviously knew his work, and I followed Jamie's work for a long time. And so it was very exciting when he came to me, and also with the thought that Nicole might do it. I've known Nicole for a very long time. She played Grisabella in Cats in London, and the thought that she would do Norma was incredible for me because she's got such a fantastic voice. I mean, she can really act through music in a way that very few people can. And therefore, I mean, it all seemed to be great. But the most exciting thing was when Jamie told me what he intended to do with it. And it was quite radical.
Amazing that Andrew was just so open-minded and collaborative every step of the way. So really so grateful to him for entrusting the piece to us and allowing us to find that new way to tell the story.
I've found over the years that if you're working with first-rate directors, it becomes very, very exciting because the process in the rehearsal room, it becomes just one of those things that you can't repeat. I mean, that's why one's in theatre, why I love working in theatre so much. And we began to make the show darker. And Jamie came up with a quite radical suggestion that a couple of the songs actually were cut, which I think was right, because they were, when you look back at it, a little old-fashioned. And I think that it was the right decision, and it made it possible to make the show a lot darker in a way. And anyway, I'm looking forward to working with Jamie. We're doing a new show together after Evita called The Illusionist. And that'll open in London, I reckon, in September of next year, produced by the wonderful Michael Harrison, who produced Sunset and is producing Evita, and is now we have a partnership together that Michael's going to be producing all my work from now onwards. My main focus now, when I get back to London, is to keep going with the new show and keep writing that. We've got a week in London where Jamie's going to be in with the writers and everything the week after next. And I don't know, the most fantastic thing in the world is, I mean, if you're lucky enough to know what you want to do in life, I think, and then if you're lucky enough to actually have a career in it, it's fantastic. And if you've had the sort of career that I've had, I mean, it's just wonderful. And I'm so lucky. I love writing musicals. I've got an idea for yet another one after this new one, and it's just great. I just love theatre. Broadway, of course, is really the home of the musical. I mean, and although we love working in London, there is no substitute for coming here.
Jesus Christ Superstar. I'd love to do at some point. There was an amazing production in Londden not so long ago, which toured the US as well, so I don't think that will happen anytime soon, but maybe one day Andrew will entrust that one to us as well.
I think it's quite difficult to absolutely know something is going to work, but you can have a pretty good hunch. I mean, I've been lucky enough to work with some very fine directors, and of course Hal Prince, who was a great friend and was a mentor to me really early on in my career. And Hal said something to me which I will always remember. He came to see a show of mine in London very early on in my career. I had an appalling flop musical called Jeeves. And it was, I suppose, had one of the most hideous sets that you could ever actually imagine. And I remember Hal wrote me a letter. And I was really down, because it was I'd just done Jesus Christ Superstar, and then this was the next one, and I thought everything was over. And Hal wrote me this letter saying, "Don't worry about it." He said, "Just remember one thing: you can't listen to a musical if you can't look at it." And I think that that's incredibly, incredibly true. And so what I think is fantastic about this production of Sunset Boulevard is although it may be radically different in the sense that it doesn't have huge, great sets or anything like that, and doesn't have a great big house for Norma Desmond. What it has is an incredible visual style. And I always feel that with a musical, that's one of the first things you need to talk about with the director.
Right here, guys, right here. Both of you come over, okay, right up and straight ahead.